Hey, welcome everyone to the Framework Podcast. This is officially my beta episode, my very first, and it is quite dear to me. Reason I say that is because last week I put out a YouTube short announcing to the world and to myself in efforts to hold myself accountable that I will be posting a video once a week dedicated to my weight loss journey. And no, this isn't going to be one of those fluff ones with weight loss. I am here transparent, what I've done, what I did wrong, what I've learned, what bad habits I'd had to expel from my daily routine. And my hopes is that it can help at least a few of you, if you're struggling with your weight, to overcome it, to get on the path and to be able to maintain or reach your goals and then maintain the weight that you're after. Little background about me. I'm 47 years old. I am a business owner, and the last probably 3 months, and I say probably because I got injured last week a little bit. I had to take 3 days off, but I've been working out every day, many of those days twice a day, with no results on the scale. Now, body composition wise, yes, massive. And not massive, but for me, it's been a huge improvement in how my clothes fit and how, I'm carrying myself a little bit more confident. And that has to do a lot with just putting in the work. However, the scale doesn't lie, and it certainly hasn't lied to me. I started at 322 pounds, I believe. I got to check because it was a couple months back. And today, I'm 322 pounds. Now, although physically I look different, I'm no closer to my goal weight. And that is why I'm posting this video. So let's get right into it. I welcome you and I thank you for your time. And hopefully you can get some information out of here that can help you if you're struggling to start or you're on the path but still struggle for information. So with that being said, let's get cracking. So I got 7 points here that I want to bring out, and some of them are questions. And the first one is you have to ask yourself and be honest and have a big goal. What's your ideal weight? What is it that you're after? For me, my ideal weight is 219 pounds. So I have 103 pounds to lose in order to reach my ideal weight. Now, I want to reach that ideal weight by the time I'm 50. So I'm giving myself 3 years to be at the physical shape that I want to be, ideally. Now, I may reach the weight sooner, which I'm hoping, but that doesn't mean that I will stop reaching for my goal. So if I reach the weight in a year, 18 months, then I work on something else, something for longevity. So, because like I said, I'm 47. I'm no spring chicken. So by 50, I want to have my weight, my physique, my eating habits, and my routines down packed. So ask yourself, what is your ideal weight? And put a number on it. Don't just say, oh, I want to lose weight. Go pee. Have you lost a couple ounces? That's not what we're after. And apply a reason for it, because that's going to help motivate you. We'll talk more on that later. So be honest with yourself. Me, I'm obese. My doctor a few years back told me I'm morbidly obese because my BMI, it's like 40. That's huge. So accept that. Don't walk around here, I'm thick boned, or yeah, I'm a little chunky. No, you're fat. You're fat. I'm fat. That's the only reason I can say it. I'm obese, and we're not gonna beat around the bush here. We're gonna be candid and we're gonna be honest with each other, but that may be the wake-up call that you need. So let's have a candid conversation with ourselves. And if you need to, have it in front of a mirror. Talk with yourself. How often do you actually look in the mirror and spend some time reflecting on your image? I had to practice it. I don't look in the mirror at all. I don't have any hair to tend to. I know how to tie a tie without looking in the mirror. I know how to tuck in a shirt and get dressed without looking in the mirror. So I had to force myself to say, hey, I stood there in my chones or in your shorts if you're comfortable with it. Look at yourself. What is it that you want to change? I had that conversation with myself, and that's something private to me that I will not share with anyone but my wife, and my kids know it. So if you need to, record that conversation, because that's going to help fuel the fire. So because weight loss is cyclical. From what I've learned and what I've read, you're not always going to be on a downward spiral, either physically with your weight or emotionally, right? It's cyclical. So it's going to have ups and downs, So when you're on the highs, you're riding good. When you dip into those lows where you've kind of hit a plateau or the weight's not just coming off as fast as it initially did, play that video. Look at yourself, right? And if you have any progress from when you started to then, it's going to help you be like, it's working, so let me just keep going. So as I told you, my goal with is 219 and to be under 20% body fat. Now, that might not be anything for some of you guys out there and girls, but to me, that's ideal. If I can get about 18% and at 219, I'll be all right. That's my goal. And my reason is, like I said, I'm getting older, and currently I don't have any joint issues, but I hurt my back a few years back. I got a bulging disc. I got a couple. I got a herniated disc and a couple that are bulging, and I have degenerative disc disease is what they call it, which is pretty common. It's not, I'm not saying it to get sympathy here, but those are my issues. I don't have diabetes. I don't have an existing heart condition, although it runs in my family, both things, like my grandfather, my mother. So me being the current weight and living my life obese as I am, I need to have that in mind. Hey, you're only getting older, so these hip, knee, back are only going to get worse. You don't have them now, but they're coming. My health, diabetes, cholesterol, my cholesterol is high. It's not exaggeratingly high, and that's awesome. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have any precursors. I guess I may be saying it wrong, but nothing in my blood work has had the doctor identify, hey, this is coming up, but my cholesterol has been an issue. So I'm definitely going to focus on that. And 50 is coming soon. So I want to be jacked and healthy for myself, my wife, and my kids. All right, point number 2, track your meals for a week. I've read somewhere, I can't remember the source, but if I do find it, I'll put it in the description just so you can read it. I did hear from Mr. Hormozi. He has an awesome video out talking about how many grams of protein, your calorie breakdown, and how to achieve that. And that many do not deviate from eating like the same 5 to 10 meals in their diet. So what do I mean by that? I grew up in a Hispanic household. I can for certainly tell you that we did not deviate from probably 3 meals, which were eggs, some kind of meat, whether it was salami, spam, ham, bacon, and bread in the morning with coffee and some cream. When the cream usually meant like evaporated milk and 4 pounds of sugar. Lunch and dinner are probably the same because my mother cooked early to get out the way. So we had rice and beans and some more meat. So we got carbs on top of carbs, on top of fats, on top of salts, on top of sugars. And this was continual all the time. We might have gone out to eat a couple times a week, so maybe that's one of the deviations, but it pretty much stayed standard. Currently, my wife's awesome. We do not eat the typical Spanish meal. We do indulge in it every once in a great while, and I appreciate her for that. She is so much better than I am in what to eat because she is also concerned with her own health outcome as she gets up in age. I'm older than her, and she is a beautiful looking year old, and I admire her for that. So the meals that we eat currently, we really don't deviate. I don't want to sit here and tell you what we eat currently. I did write them down, and I've identified what I do want to share with you is these were the main repeat offenders. And to me, twice a week, we have jobs way early in the morning, twice a week, and typically on a routine basis, we will get a bacon, egg, and cheese Asiago toasted bagel with butter, and it is delicious. And I would get two of them. And funny enough, my boys would get two each. That's another topic for another episode that I have coming up. McDonald's, also, I would indulge in probably once a week on a steak, egg, and cheese McGriddle. Those things are delicious. Friday has been typically our pizza night, and we've been doing this for quite a while, and I don't think that'll change. But what will change is the quantity and what kind of pizza I get. So I might start, in order to start to reduce that, I might go to cauliflower crust pizza, which is delicious because my wife eats it and I've tasted it. And then I won't load it with so many toppings. And typically a cauliflower pizza would bring like a vegetable-based array of toppings, and I think that'll be something I can transition to eventually just phase it out. Also, the high carbs, which the typical Spanish diet, rice, beans, meat, etc., which we indulge every once in a while. We did last week. I think we did, one meal because our mother-in-law visited and she is Hispanic, so we did cook and made something that she enjoys. We made kebabs. It's a little to kind of flip the script. I made kebabs on the grill, which were just skewers with beef, peppers, multicolored peppers, and onions. That's it. Just skewers with that. Then I kind of glazed them lightly with some Kinder's hickory smoked barbecue sauce, which probably had high sugars, and I'm aware of. And we paired that up with some grilled corn and baked potatoes. Now, I'm not saying that was a healthy meal, but it certainly was better than other options like eating cheesesteak sandwiches. Also, we did a stir fry with beef, broccoli, and mixed vegetables, which I made also. I truly enjoy cooking, so whenever I can get in there in the kitchen and give my wife a break, I will make some food for the whole family, and we typically enjoy it. So, track your meals for a week. Use an app. I think I have Fitness Pal downloaded on my phone, which I just recently downloaded. I'm going to use going forward. Last week, I wrote it down, and I suggest get yourself a notebook, something like this, nothing fancy, that you can write the stuff down. This will come in handy later also. So number 3, identify what you need to eliminate from your eating habits. Right? So now you've tracked your meals. Now identify what you need to eliminate from your eating habits. And this takes a little bit of research, but it is not difficult. And it's good to have it in writing, because if we fly by the seat of our pants, we're going to vary too much. We're going to be all over the scale. You have it in writing what you ate. I've identified that my Asiago bagels, my McDonald's McGriddles, pizza night, the typical Spanish food. And so I got 6 things here that I tracked. See, between 5 and 10 meals, we don't deviate. 6 things here that I tracked, and 4 of them I need to make adjustments with and or eliminate. So I know I'm going to start with 2. I'm going to eliminate sugars, which I have written down here. Yep. So high carbs and sugars I'm going to eliminate. And I had to do some research on that. So after you track your meals, you identify what you want to eliminate, like carbs, fat, sugar, salt, emotional eating. I did not know that I was an emotional eater until late last week. And let me tell you a quick story about that. We're going out, we're taking care of business, doing a job for work, and something popped up. So I had planned, I'm going to get home and I'm going to make this and this to eat. Or I had my protein shake with me, and I didn't have a protein shake with me that day. Things popped up, then some fires I had to put out. So now my getting home got delayed by 2.5 hours, and I was getting hangry. Now, when I get hungry, I start getting like a little light migraine headache behind my eye socket up here, and that's where it affects me the most. And I was like, I looked at my son, I was like, you know what? Because he, unbeknownst, because I didn't tell him about that, I was tracking my meals for the week. He was like, Dad, I'm kind of hungry. You want something against Sunday? I was like, nope, I'm going to wait till I get home, and I'll make myself something I have planned to make. And that didn't happen. What happened was I was like, my day is going downhill. So what I'm going to, this is my internal dialogue. Man, your day's going downhill. Go get something to eat before this migraine gets worse. So that was a moment of weakness that I did not challenge. So I looked at him, I said, you know what? I'll take you up on that lunch. Let's go eat. I believe we had Wendy's. I didn't track that one. See, emotional eating, it doesn't even register. So I figured out that I do have that issue, that I am an emotional eater. So that's something else that I have to address. So now I got sugars, carbs, and emotional eating. So in order for me to get rid of those or work on those, my coffee is probably going to be the hardest, because although I don't put direct sugar granules in it, I do love the pour over coffee I make, whether it be Kicking Horse coffee or Black Rifle coffee or just a good brand coffee. I do enjoy my pour over, and with it I enjoy hazelnut creamer, and not a lot. I maybe put 1.5 tablespoons in a 20-ounce mug, so it's really not a lot, but still something I have to keep in mind, because I drink coffee twice a day. So that's 2 times that I'm introducing sugar to my body. As far as carbs, I researched, and I think what attracted me currently is carb cycling. So I'm going to give that a shot for the next 4 to 6 weeks. You have to give these things time. So you want to cut off the bad things quick, but the good things that you're applying, you have to give time for them to start working in your body. I'm 47. I've been eating bad probably 3 decades. Younger I was in sports, and at that young you can outwork any diet, right? But when I was in the military, same thing. I worked out a lot, so I wasn't really eating out. Got out of the military, that all stopped. So my habits that I adopted along the way have not been the best. So that's something that I know that took long to come to the fore. So now me adopting these good habits is going to take a while. So I'm going to give it 4 to 6 weeks on carb cycling, see how that affects my body. And if it's going good, if it's affecting in a good way, great. I'm going to keep doing that. Why would you change it just because it's 4 to 6 weeks? Because you're bored? Suck it up. This is for your life. You have to make the effort and really marinate on the bad outcome that can be from poor choices. We've made them to this point. If you're in the similar boat that I am, bro, like, we might not make it to 60. We might even not make it to 55. I don't want to be that. So I'm taking charge now. If you're younger than I am, that's even better for you, because these habits you can carry for a longer period of time, extending the longevity of your life potentially. And let me take this moment. With that being said, I am not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist. I am not a dietitian. I'm just a dude trying to improve in my lifestyle, what I eat, trying to improve my physique, trying to improve my health, trying to improve my overall family happiness with what I can control. So if you need to, and I sternly invite, advise, counsel, express my, whatever you want to call it, go speak to a professional, whether that be your GP, your general practitioner, that be a doctor that dietitian, nutritionist. There's a plethora of individuals that are far more qualified than I am. These are my opinions. This is my own personal research. This is what I'm using for me. that I think is going to help me reach my goals. So do your own research. Be wise. Don't just follow what anybody says, including myself. This past week, I did a lot of research. I did a lot of reading. So the things that I'm going to apply were the result of that. So please be proactive in your own health and take the necessary measures to protect yourself and your family. So 4, how many times do you work out a week? Last week, like I said, I took 3 days off because of an injury, so I worked out 4 days. So I worked out 4 times last week. So write down what exercises. All right. I did a push-pull leg circuit for the week. And 3 times that week I ran or a slow-paced jog, walk a mile. And when I'm talking about slow pace, I mean a slow pace. You could have beat me with a riding lawnmower. Like, I wasn't breaking any strides or records in my run walk, and I have a treadmill. So I actually got it to use it, and it wasn't too bad because I don't want to digress here, but for the last probably 6 months, I've been training myself with barefoot shoes, and I've been looking up how to run bare feet because when I used to run or even attempt to run, that's why I ended up hating it. Even back in the military days, my shins would feel like they were about to just dislodge from my knees and my ankles. My shin splints were so bad, and my lower back would ache. So I started looking into barefoot running, and I tried it a few years back. Because I did lose some weight a few years back. I lost about 55 pounds, and I felt amazing. Now I'm doing more research since there is more technology, more information out there. And I started, I think it was late January, wearing barefoot shoes and training my feet better. So I'm adopting the barefoot running style, and I don't have any shin splints. My back doesn't ache. My hips don't ache. And it's an incredible calf workout for anybody that's done it. And if you haven't and you're going to, be prepared that your calves will be sore as all get out. So track your workouts. I did, like I said, push-pull legs and the cardio. So push exercises, whether it's a band, whether you're doing it free weight in your house. I thankfully have a wonderful wife that is on board with what I am doing, and we've piecemealed a decent workout area that I can get my exercises in and have all the equipment that I need. Now, it isn't a full-blown gym, but I think it's awesome, and it works for us. So that's what I've been using. YouTube, Google workout routines. There's this one gentleman that I did start following way back in the day, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing it, but he's called Minus the Gym. A great guy with some really good exercises that you can do at home with no equipment. So check him out if you want to. If not, find your own that you like, what floats your boat, and get after it. Also, learning the importance of hydration. I drink water. I don't mind it. I do like it, but the past few months, until I've been working out for a few months, I found myself dehydrated, and my legs my calves, one or the other, sometimes both, be cramped up into a knot, and came to the realization I was probably depleting my electrolytes. So I spoke with my wife, and we found a product, I don't even know the name, and I've increased my water intake to 1 gallon a day, and that has helped tremendously because since I started doing that, no more cramps. Now, that's awesome because I get a better sleep, my body can recover, higher quality sleep, and my body can recover, and I wake up feeling better. So, what exercises do you do? Find a plan that works, and remember to stay hydrated. Number 5 is near and dear to me, and this is since I was a child. My parents taught me this, my mother especially, discipline. Learn to be disciplined. And the definition of discipline is orderly or prescribed conduct or pattern or behavior. Simple enough. You need to develop it. You will fail at everything in life if you don't have discipline. So please get off your phone, just screen sucking, time wasting on apps. And most of these apps don't serve you. Especially, what's sad? You adult men walking around stuck to your devices like a baby calf, just stuck on their mother's udder. What are you doing? What are you doing spending 4 hours a day on a device that's not serving you? Just scrolling. There's nothing out there that interesting. You might follow, and I advise you to do so, 1 or 2, maybe 3 people that benefit, that are on the same path, that are more ahead in the path than you are, that you can emulate some of the things, learn from them in order to improve yourself. Don't get on the phone just because in your head you convince yourself that, there's nothing to do. Let me just dumb myself on this phone for 3 hours. Why? Don't you have a wife? Do you have kids? Do you live at home with your mama? Then do something so you can get out. Find your own place. You guys, I'm telling you, man, this it burns me because I don't have everything figured out. And I'm not going to sit here and act like everything in my life is hunky-dory, because obviously I'm still working on myself. I have a weight issue, but I don't ignore my wife. I'm barely on my phone. My whole family knows that. And guess what? The kids follow suit. So by you being disciplined, you're leading by example. And that's a beautiful thing. So don't neglect your discipline. Learn to detach and improve your mental discipline. And it could easily start by waking up when you set your alarm and it goes off. It just blows my mind how something so simple is such a stumbling block for many of you. Don't hit the snooze. Get up, get out, and get after it. I can't even sit here and have a conversation with somebody that, I love to snooze. What? You're not even getting restful sleep. Right? If you look at the sleep cycles, I believe they're every 90 minutes. So in order for you to get a full sleep cycle is 90 minutes. And I tried this and it proved beneficial for me because I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. But when I would get up, I make sure that when I went to bed, to by the time our alarm went off, it was 6 hours minimum, because I got 90. So I got 4 sleep cycles in. Now, those are the days that, granted, it's probably not enough sleep, but I've been on 6 hours of sleep since before my Navy days, and I'm trying to improve that. Now I'm at 7.5 almost. And I tell you, I wake up a little groggy, but when I hit that 7.5 mark, I'm pretty pumped. Like, I had a great night's sleep. So set your alarm and try to go to sleep and wake up at the same time every day. And yes, this includes the weekends. If you're trying to level up and improve your life, the weekends aren't to do whatever you want. If you're going to be disciplined, you have to get on this path and be on it for life. And I don't mean to sound like be a Debbie Downer or make anybody feel bad, but what are you trying to achieve? The things that you're trying to achieve, whether with your weight, with your physique, with any matter in your life, it's forever. So while you're on this earth, focus on what matters and chase that relentlessly, always. So set your alarm so you can start creating a circadian rhythm for yourself. And 6 hours ain't enough sleep. I know that. That's what I'm working on. And I believe at least 7.5 you'll be all right. 6 is not enough. And I'm feeling it myself, and I'm trying to improve on that. So, like me, I do the same thing. I don't snooze my alarm. My alarm goes off, and I had a rough night. Guess what? It'll be another night coming up that I can get some rest. I just get up because that helps you mentally and get mentally tough and help with your discipline and start your day with a win. You got up. The promise that you made yourself by setting that alarm, you actually kept, and you got up and started your day. 6, begin preparing the implementation phase. Again, I'm no doctor. So this is my opinions. Go seek medical help and attention before you start any program. So how do I do that? Prepare the implementation phase. Like I said, remove 1 or 2 things in a week from your eating. The next steps, so let's say week 1 you tracked all your foods. Week 2 you remove 1 or 2 things. My thing is the high carbs all the time and the sugars. So that's what I'm going to remove the first week. Week 3, remove 2 or more things. And so week 4 and so on until you've cleaned your diet. And that's not a bad word. Cleaning your diet, it will actually fuel this awesome mechanism that is your body. And I'm just starting to learn all this. So it's exciting for me. And some of you might have this knowledge from way back, and that's great. But for me, I'm just starting to learn it, and I'm starting to appreciate what God has created. And you should too. Like your body, there's nothing like it. And there will never be anything like it. So get after it. This is what I did. So for me, in order for me to start implementing what, my phases of phasing out foods and phasing in better things, like I said, I took advantage of my first week and learned a bit about carb cycling. So for me, I'm removing the sugar and I'm starting to carb cycle my diet. So my eating. So no more sodas, which I rarely drink. The sugar in my coffee, I know that's going to be a struggle, but I will eventually phase that out and maybe just stop drinking coffee. I don't know yet, because I don't mind black coffee either. It's not my favorite, but I can do with. I'm hoping, right, because if I'm going to remove so much sugar from my diet and all the other things I eat, because, right, these simple carbs turn into sugars, they turn into fats, I believe, and it's a whole cycle. So I'm hoping that by eating more fruits and veggies, that any sugar cravings will just go away, because I'm not just abruptly stopping it. So whatever fruits in season, would it be watermelon, berries, apples, pears, oranges. I'm not seeking sweet fruits, but just any fruit that I eat. I know it has a certain amount of fructose that I'm hoping would help to mitigate those cravings. Also, I am going to stop eating out. And that's another huge thing, because there goes my bagels and there goes my McGriddles with steak that I do appreciate so much. But if I'm sitting there trying to help you with the information that I'm gathering, because I want to do this for myself, then I have to do it. So I'm going to stop eating out, and that's where I'm at. So carb cycling, which I'm going to condense it, because there's a lot of research out there I've still yet to dive into, but so far, there's 3 stages. There's high, medium, and low carb days. So let's say yesterday, as a matter of fact, I had a high carb day. And a high carb day for me is over 100 grams of carbs, but no more than 120. And that may be too high. I don't know yet, because I have to start somewhere. So this is my starting point. Medium carb days is 60 to 100. And in my low carb days, I want to keep them under 40 for now, and hopefully get a little bit under that. But I'm gonna go 60 and under. just to start. And as I learn more, obviously I will tighten that up and be in better carb brackets to today. So today I have to keep my carbs. And again, I'm tracking all this in my Fitness Pal app that you can just scan the foods packages that you eat, and if not, you can just find it easily and input what you need, and it'll track your macros. I did pay for the year membership because I'm going all in on this, and it was like $70 or something like that. So anyways, that's how I'm going to carb cycle my diet for the next 6 weeks. So I'm hoping I see some improvement in my weight as time goes on. Now, final point I want to bring out with you, Gaul, is create your why. That's so important. And I grew up with a mom that was like, this is blue and it's always going to be blue. And I don't care how you feel, this is still going to be blue. You can sit there, cry, pout, threaten yourself, jump out a window, but guess what? When you land and crack your skull open, it's still a blue notebook. So I thank her for that, because growing up it was kind of tough, but the discipline that she did instill in me and us, I'm the youngest of three, has helped me greatly. And the reason I say that I'm not frou-frou is because creating your why to me was like, I don't need an external source that drives me. Again, this is blue and it's always going to be blue. Just accept the fact and move on. So obviously that didn't quite work for me as good as I thought, because here I am struggling with my weight, and I've been reading up on a lot of things, but one thing that I'm currently working on, because it's like a program, it's called the Mental Toughness Playbook, and it is by a gentleman called Ben Newman, and he created, it's free. Look for it online. It's called the Mental Toughness Playbook. It's a PDF file. You can download it. It has some exercises in there, and it helps you identify. He calls it your burn, but it's something that ignites that motivation in you that helps you keep going. So try that out. It's pretty neat. I did do he has this thing called your burn, where you do it for 30 days daily. When you wake up, you write it down, your burn, which is what you want to accomplish. And in a future episode, I can discuss what I have for mine. That's one way to create your why. Also, I think, and this was more impactful still for me, was to write out my own eulogy. And this thing rocked me. When I wrote, I took time, find yourself a quiet place with no distractions. Don't take your phone in there. Don't take your smartwatch, any device. Close yourself up in a room, your office, in your vehicle. Take 10 to 20 minutes and write out your own eulogy. This is powerful, man. I wrote it, and it rocked me, because the way that I want my family to see me, I am incongruent with all of it. I'm nowhere near. And that was eye-opening for me. And that is most certainly a big factor driving me. If there was anything that was my burn, is me reading my own eulogy. And I've been doing it, no joke, twice a week since I wrote it. And I wrote it probably, I think it was March or April. I have a notebook where I wrote it. It's not this one, and I can look back for the date, but I read it twice a week, and it cements the importance of what I'm doing for myself. And I'm not trying to be selfish, but this is something that also you have to take into account for yourself. A lot of people will try to pull you in all different directions because you're changing. Not only are you changing physically, but your habits are changing. So if you're the guy or the girl that used to hang out on the weekends and look forward to Friday and TGIF and all that nonsense, your current peeps that would hang out with you on those weekends that are on the same train, they see you leaving the station, so they don't want that. So you might, in this journey, you might have to drop a few friends. You might have to restructure the relationship you have with either them or maybe even some family members. So be aware of that and be ready, because they might see it as you being selfish when in reality you're selfishly taking care of yourself, but in the long run it's for a selfless cause, because you'll be able to be there for them longer, you'll be able to help them more efficiently, and you'll be able to do more things for other people that you can't do in your current state. If you're listening to this or watching this and it comes from a good place and you're 400, 500, 600 pounds and you can't move, who are you helping? Let's be honest, you're not helping anyone. I struggle some days getting up out the couch because either my back's stiff, and that's probably from pre-existing injuries, and it has to do with my weight. I'm 322 pounds. How much better would I be for those that I love and those that I call my friends at 219, my goal weight? How much better will you be 1, 2, 300 pounds lighter? And if you're 50, 60 pounds overweight, how much better will you be a contributing member to your family, to your community, to your job, to your business if you lost that weight? And it's not only a physical thing. Mentally, you'll be better focused. Mentally, you'll be more alert. Weight takes a toll, and it's not just physically. Besides, you'll be saving your joints too, and all these death-dealing illnesses, diabetes, cancer. Cancer loves fat. When I learned that, it was one of those moments when I was like, just my jaw just dropped, and I didn't know. Now I know. So I'm working towards eliminating that, because cancer does run in my family. So please take this serious for yourselves. It took me a while to do it. If you're younger than I am, and many of you maybe start now. Life is short. I could think back when I was 22, and it doesn't seem like a far off time. So please make it happen for yourselves. All right, so I was talking about the eulogy. Do that. Write your own eulogy out. It will rock your foundation. And if it doesn't, rewrite it because you didn't take it serious enough. This is the last thing anybody's going to hear about you. And this is the last thing that someone will voice about the person that you were. Who's that person? Who do you want it to be? So let's recap. We'll go over the actionables. There were 7 of them. So first, write down your goal weight and your body fat percentage. Give it a visible place. Do what are they called? I can't even think about it. I have one. It's those boards. A vision board. Do one. Put your weight on there. Matter of fact, put a body of somebody that you would like to look like, and then just put your head over that. Make it visible. You want something you can see every day to constantly remind you of what path you're on. 2, track your meals for the first week. Again, we don't deviate much out of the 5 to 10 meals that we eat. So track your meals. What are you eating? Then you can sit down and identify and pick apart what you need to eliminate in order to help you achieve your goals. Identify what you need to eliminate from your eating habits. Just covered that. So track your meals. The third one is identify what you need to eliminate. For me, it was sugars and carbs, which I'm going to work on. Again, I said I was going to start doing carb cycling. So I will follow up with a later video, probably in 6 weeks. Not that this is the last video of 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to post one every week. But in 6 weeks, once I'm done carb cycling, I've refined it because I'm still learning. I will come back and update you all on what's up. 4, count how many times you worked out your first week. We should be working out every day. That's my goal. I did it for 80 some odd days, and I felt great. But my diet was what was hindering me. I didn't lose any weight. I went from 322 to 318 to 328, back down to 322. I don't know how that happened, but it happened because I was on that scale almost every day, and that's what I saw. But I did, my clothes started feeling a little better. Like I had to buy different shirts because the ones I had were like 4Xs and 3Xs. Now I can fit modestly in a 2X if I wanted to. And some shirts, because it depends on who makes them. Some 2Xs fit me, some don't. This is one of those shirts. So, develop discipline. Stop wasting time on non-essential things. Social media is non-essential. Unless you're running a business, a digital one, that you need that space, then that you're doing that purposefully. So, but if you're just sitting there scrolling and just wasting time, learn about your body. Take the time to learn what you like, what you don't like, your eating. Help perfect that. That's going to greatly increase your success factor instead of wasting time scrolling on whatever device of your choosing. Also, create a wake-up routine. And just exactly what I mean. You set your alarm to a certain time, the alarm goes off, wake up, get out of bed, make the bed, get to stepping. Don't make it any more complicated than that. Next, begin preparing the implementation phase. All right, removing things not conducive to your goal, kick them out. Fill in those blanks with stuff that's going to help you succeed, whether that be a support system or your diet or your workout routine. And finally, create your why. This is extremely powerful, whether you choose a deceased family member, your spouse, a child. Create your why. Couple that up with writing your own eulogy. Man, that is solid. So look up somewhere on Google how to write your own eulogy, right? Mine is probably a paragraph long, 3 to 5, maybe 6, 7 sentences. It doesn't have to be a book, not an autobiography. This is your eulogy, something that someone would read after you die. And that's the person that you were while you were living. So write it as the person that you want to be, what you want them to read after your death, and reflect on that. I think that's going to help a lot of you massively. So that's all I have for today. As promised, one video a week. I will continue to do so until I've reached my goal weight. And that's all I got. I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me. I hope some of this information has helped you or will help you. Again, I appreciate you.